Well, good day, subscribers. Today we get to do a video that a lot of people have been requesting, which is how much money am I down on my Tesla shares, okay? I know a lot of the longs are interested in this as far as the Tesla bulls, as far as like, am I gonna buy more Tesla shares? How many would I like to add? What am I at right now for cost basis? I'm gonna show you screenshots of everything. And then I know a lot of the bears, the Tesla bears out there, I know they wanna laugh at me and make fun of me and call me an idiot. So I think everybody should enjoy this video here today, guys. Hope you enjoy it. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button. Now, first thing we gotta talk about is what constitutes as a loss in the stock market, because a lot of people say, well, if you're down big on a position, then that's like a loss. Yeah, you haven't technically lost some money yet, but if you were to sell that, you're down huge, it's a loss. So a lot of people consider different things. Like for instance, my ELF position, we're up over $12,000 on that position. Does that really count as a gain? And in my opinion, no. The answer is no, that doesn't really count as a gain. We're up on that position. If we sold out of it today, we'd make over a $12,000 profit, but in the IRS's eyes, right, it's not a profit until it is sold. So I think you kind of got to go by what the IRS says, but it's still cool to look at, you know, oh, I'm really down on this position or I'm really up on this position big. So let's start getting into this, guys. So this account, I believe, is the account I hold the most shares in. By the way, I hold Tesla shares in like 4 different accounts. So Tesla, in this account, we are down $4,472 here in this particular account. We have over $23,000 worth of Tesla shares here in this account, 118 shares total. Cost basis on this one is $233.12 there. As of right now, at least, Tesla shares are trading at about $195. Now that particular account there, it has over $250,000 in it. So although you see the number, it seems like a lot of money, $23,000 in Tesla shares there, it's actually one of the smallest positions in that particular account. But on the flip side, it is down huge, like down $4,472 is certainly not a fun amount to be down, needless to say, okay? So like I said, I own it in 4 different accounts, so let's pull out the calculator and let's start adding all these together, okay? So the first one, $4,472 loss on that one, okay? Next account up here, this one here is a margin account, but it only says margin because whenever a new trade is placed in the account, it goes on margin if the money hasn't cleared yet. But this one, we hold Tesla shares, 58 shares in this particular account. $11,292 is how much worth of Tesla shares we own in this account. My goodness, Tesla went down in that short amount of time. I did the different screenshots. Now it's down to 194 something. On this one, our cost basis is $228.96, which I believe is the lowest of any of my accounts. Of the 4 accounts, I believe this one is actually the lowest. And if we look at the total gain loss there, we are down just under $2,000 in this one here, okay? Negative $1,987, down about 15% in that particular account. So you add that amount to the previous amount and we're up to $6,459 loss. So, you know, down, you know, we shouldn't say lost because we technically come back and we could make a lot of money on the position. So it's technically not money lost yet, but as far as being down, 6,400 between those 2 accounts, okay? Next account up here is just 6 shares. This is a really small position in this particular account. Tesla made it back to $195 by the screenshot. $458 is what we're down in this particular account as far as a percent. I think this one's the highest, 28%, but we can definitely get our cost basis down substantially because it's such a small position. In this particular account here, $271.49 is what I paid in that account. Ooh, that is rough, okay? So if we pull out the calculator, so now we're up to $6,917 in loss. Going into the last one, in this one we only hold 3 shares in this particular account. $254.37 is the cost base on this one, down about $178. So all total, basically we're down over $7,000 on the Tesla position as of right now, you know, close to $7,100 on the Tesla position. So approaching a 5-figure downward move there essentially across all the accounts, all right? So, you know, the Tesla bears, have some fun with that one. Tesla bulls, that's what we're looking at as of right now, okay? Now let's go ahead and talk about if I'm gonna buy some more Tesla shares and kind of like what I would like to get in these particular accounts. I'm really gonna talk about the main 2 accounts because those other 2 accounts are like, there's such a small position. position, it almost doesn't even matter. But at the two main accounts, what do I want to see as far as getting those shares to certain cost bases and how many shares would I like to hold? Well, in that main account that we hold 118 shares, I would ideally like to get this account to around 200 shares, okay? I would like to buy about 200 shares, meaning so essentially about 82 more shares. Get this account to about 200 shares total, and I would like to get that cost basis down to about $215. I mean, if I could add those 82 shares, you know, over the course of the next few weeks, and let's say Tesla stock stays somewhere around roughly where it's at now, we should be able to get our cost basis somewhere roughly to around $215 on this account. And in that particular account, I would feel comfortable having about 200 shares. That would probably put us somewhere as far as, you know, current value of somewhere around maybe $35,000 roughly in that account, and that account has over $250,000 in it. So $35,000 position roughly or so for Tesla is about right for me personally. Although I believe so much in Tesla, I don't want to make this into some type of, you know, massive Goliath position where it's the biggest position in my portfolio, one of the biggest. If it became that because the stock went up like crazy and all of a sudden this was a $500 stock next year or something like that, that's okay. Like if it becomes just a big position because it goes up a ton, that's okay with me. But in terms of me putting my own money into it, do I want to make this into my biggest position or one of my biggest positions? No. I'd feel comfortable if in that particular account, if it got to like $30,000, $35,000 worth of current value, I would feel comfortable with that, okay? Now, in terms of the other account, I would ideally like to get this one to about 100 shares. So I almost want to double up my share amount in this particular account here, which as we see right now, we only own 58 shares in that particular account. This one, I think I can get cost basis down to $210, maybe even $205, as long as, you know, Tesla shares stay somewhere roughly where they're at now, and I can buy this over the next few weeks. And that would put my current value on this stake in Tesla in this particular account somewhere roughly around $20,000 or so. So I would feel very comfortable with that. And then this would put me in a situation where, you know, I essentially have about 300, maybe just over 300 shares in Tesla in total, and I would feel very comfortable with that stake. Now, if Tesla continue to go down after, let's say I have my 300 plus shares in Tesla stock, I probably won't buy more, and if I do, it'll be a very small amount. Basically, I just want to finish getting out my Tesla position built out and feel comfortable with that position. And there are always a lot of good deals in the stock market, so Tesla's not a situation where I want to get super heavily invested in that just for the mere fact that it is a speculative stock. Like, I would feel very comfortable holding somewhere around 300 shares, okay? And if my bullish thesis works out in Tesla, right? If everything goes according to plan and this stock goes up dramatically, I mean, we could imagine this stock at, let's say, $1,000 a share in a few years, okay? This is assuming everything goes according to plan, okay? According to plan. Then this would be a position that's essentially worth around $300,000, okay? Roughly there, okay? So that would be pretty sweet. Now, if my super bullish plan works out over the next 5-10 years, and Tesla, you know, is just, you know, the dominant electric vehicle maker, which I think they have great potential to be that. They're the leader in autonomous vehicles, which I think they have a great chance to be that. They have the autonomous taxi network. Then I think ideally Tesla shares could get to somewhere around $3,000 a share, but that's if, okay? That's if everything goes according to plan, and you know, Elon Musk continues to pull off all these miracles that he, you know, consistently pulls off. Then that puts us somewhere, you know, a little under $1 million, essentially $900,000 roughly in Tesla stock. So I would you know, I would definitely love that. But that, you know, if that ever even happened, okay, if Tesla stock was to ever even, you know, reach my max bullish thesis of $3,000 a share, that would take at least probably 6 to 7 years, if not, you know, a little further out than that, if not pushing out all the way to 10 years, okay? So if this somehow ever happened, my you know, my biggest dreams for Tesla and the biggest things I think they can create, like that would probably take honestly like 10 years to pull off. I mean, it's possible in 6 or 7, but that would be, you know, that's really hard. We're talking about a stock that's like $200. So to get to this price is definitely difficult. We've seen stocks in the past, you know, Amazon's a good example of this, go up, you know, 1,000% essentially in a 6-year span. We've seen Nvidia do moves like that. So it's certainly possible, but it's going to be very hard, at least in the short term here. And so if this all happens, you know, and everything works out, and let's just say it's $1,000 stock, okay, in the future. $300,000 position, I feel very comfortable with that, and I would feel comfortable holding that. And it's one of those things where it's not like I put that money in, right? I'm putting in, you know, roughly I have, what do I have in this as stock as of right now? Probably less than $40,000. And ideally, I'll probably get this up to a $60,000 or $70,000 position in terms of money I've actually put in, okay? $60,000 to $70,000 is probably around my max of what I personally want to put in Tesla based upon, you know, kind of what I have in my private accounts, in my public account and whatnot, and the fact that this is a somewhat speculative position, although it's way less speculative than most speculative stocks out there. That's about what I feel comfortable putting as far as my personal money. That's about what I feel comfortable putting into Tesla stock. That's right around my max. And at that point, then it's just a hold. Then it's just a hold, and let's see how things play out over the next few years. If it goes lower, it goes lower. I'm probably not going to be interested in buying it just because I already have my position built. And if it starts to go up, it goes up, okay? And then at that point, it's just a hold, and we're going to see, does my bullish thesis around Tesla play out over the next 3, 5, 7, 10 years? And maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but I like the risk reward proposition I'm getting in Tesla shares as of right now, because worst case scenario, the stock goes to zero, right? Literally worst case scenario, okay? So stock goes to zero, I lose all $60,000 or whatever I have in the stock. That would be pretty incredible. I personally can't see that happening. I think Tesla would sell out way before a situation like that ever happened, if somehow that happened, which is very unrealistic. And also, I think you know, somebody would make a big investment. I think a big tech company would make a huge investment in Tesla before that situation even got anywhere remotely close. But literally, that's worst case scenario. I lose $60,000. Best case scenario is I make several $100,000 profit on this stock. So my opinion, if I'm the casino, I'm saying the rewards on my side versus the risk is on my side, guys. So that's my opinion there. And short sellers obviously are taking a far bigger risk in the stock. Their best chance of success is the stock literally goes to zero and they can make 100% on their money. Their worst case scenario is the stock starts to go up from here. They don't cover their shares, and they actually lose way more than 100% on their money, because when you short sell stocks, you can lose literally thousands of percent. Well, eventually you'll get margin calls from your brokerage and have to cover your position there or deposit more money or something like that. But then they also have to pay interest on that money they're shorting. So, you know, a short seller taking a massive risk with the stock in all hopes that it goes to $0, which in my opinion is very unrealistic. On my side, I can, you know, potentially make hundreds of percent or thousands of percent, and the most I can lose is 100% of my money. So that's my opinion on Tesla stock there, and that's, you know, everything disclosed, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you enjoyed kind of me disclosing all this. Let me know your opinion on Tesla stock in the comment section. What is your cost basis on Tesla? What do you want to get your cost basis to? I would love to hear from you guys. If you're a short seller, make sure you laugh at me. Hit that thumbs up button. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.